Alright, Stumpy McGumpy here, and we're on Madden NFL 20 in November of 2020. Madden 21 has been out for quite some time, but I decided to not waste my money and buy the same game for a $60 price tag. So we're going to sit with Madden 20, and we're going to do a franchise. We're going to do a rebuild franchise, and let's go right into it. So we're going to use a custom roster. It's going to be that franchise guy's roster that was updated in about October, like mid-October. Antonio Brown is not anywhere on any team
Select
or
the team you want to join.
any free agent roster or anything like that. So he's gone. I can't add him to the Buccaneers, but I added a couple of the other top free agents like Clowney and Snacks Harrison, and a couple of other guys like Logan Ryan, and I added them to the teams that they signed with. And I did not trade players between two teams or anything like that, so the Cowboys still have Everson Griffin and all that good stuff. But we should have the rookies like Joe Burrow and CeeDee Lamb and Ruggs and Judy and all those guys by the ratings that TFG decided they were. But we're going to choose a team here, and the format that it's going to be is we're going to simulate the entire first season, and then after that we're going to have a video for probably every off season, every quarter of a regular season, and then every playoff game that we end up being in, and that's how it's going to go. We're going to watch one game out of every quadrant of this season. So we're going to watch one out of every four for the whole year, every season, and we're going to try and do this for all 30 years that we can be a owner for, because I want to be able to control the funds and stuff like that. And we just got to choose a team now. We got to choose a team to rebuild. And I think what I want to start out with is the Atlanta Falcons. Might not need much of a rebuild in Madden, as I think they do in real life, but yeah, we're gonna do the Atlanta Falcons, and
Start your
this is our
season
team.
with recommended settings. If you wish to change roles or adjust options, use the tiles on the left.
Thanks for that. Okay, we're gonna be an owner, obviously, and let's see. Let's be a financial mogul. Get 300 million funds and some monetary happiness. No legacy score or beginner player happiness. So we're going to start out, and we're going to go with Stumpy McGumpy as our owner name, because that is my name. Alright, let's go through some league settings first. Skill level, keep it like that. Instant started, it doesn't matter. Trade deadline, yeah. Yada yada yada. We're going to turn off pre-existing injury. So we're going to have a clean slate. Everyone's going to be healthy in preseason week 1. Everything else... Quarter length, we're going to do all 15 minutes, but we're going to do a minimum play clock time of about 13, so it'll give us less plays, possibly, I think. It's going to be manual, no pop-ups, no fill roster, and max users gonna be 1, so only me. And yeah. So starting points, we're going to do the beginning of the preseason. And we're going to go right into it. We have Julio Jones, Grady Jarrett, Alex Mack, Matt Ryan, of course, Todd Gurley, Deion Jones, Keanu O'Neal, Calvin Ridley, Dante Fowler Jr., Ricardo Allen, Takk McKinley, who actually, I mean, we'll keep him, but he's been released in the past week in real life. We have DeMonte Kazee, Jake Matthews, Hayden Hurst, Tyler Davison, Matt Bosher, Darqueze Dennard, Ito Smith, yada, yada, yada. So, that's like the gist of the team, really just a brief overview. So, not going to fire anybody right now. We're going to keep Dan Quinn for the time being, even though he's been fired in real life, I'm pretty sure. We're going to do, going to change up the scheme. We're going to decide what scheme to run on both sides of the ball. I think we have an 88% fit on vertical zone run, 84 on multiple zone run. I think I'm going to rock with the multiple zone run offensive scheme. We're going to change the playbook and stuff to match that. The defensive scheme, 4-3 cover 4-3 cover 3. We're going to change that. Let's see, we could do base 4-3, which we have a 92% scheme fit, because I'm going for scheme fit mostly here. We have base 3-4, which is 88% scheme fit. We have 3-4 under, 88% scheme fit. I don't like that because the cornerback is slot, and I would rather have man-to-man or zone. I think we're going to do base 3-4. Just because I like to have man-to-man corners, because there's usually more of them in draft classes, and I like to have power rushers as my outside linebacker, at least for the left one. And then I like to have, you know, the occasional speed rusher on the other side of the ball. So I think we can do this. Field general middle linebackers. So yeah, let's do the Matt Patricia offensive playbook. Doesn't sound good because Patricia's offenses have not been solid, and neither have their defenses. But we're gonna go with their offensive playbook. I think if the Bears have a 3-4 scheme, which they do, we're going to rock with their defensive playbook, the Matt Nagy defense. So we're going to go with that for our team settings. Not going to add any free agents, but let's go look at them real quick before we start the year. We have Andrew Luck. Shit, I should have deleted him from the entire league, but unluckily enough, we did not do that. So he's going to be here because for some reason he is on the roster, but Antonio Brown is not. Doesn't make any sense, but you know what? Whatever. He's gonna be in the league, guys. Andrew Luck, yay. There's Delaney Walker, Tony Jefferson, Rashad Jones, Taylor Gabriel, former Falcon, Ryan O'Leary, Destin Colquitt, Cameron Wake, Pierre Garcon, Darius Geis, Antonio Gates, Charles Suggs, yada yada yada. We're not going to sign anybody. We're just going to sim the whole year. So, sadly, our year has come to an end. We go 8-8 at a perfect 500 on the year. The Saints won their game, and they won the division. And the Bucks also won their game, and they pass us in the division standings because they beat us. And we also suffer our first injury of the year, and it is Dante Fowler. A partial PCL tear in the final game of the year, and his final game of the year, after a great year for him. Let's go look at his player card real quick, see how he did this season. I'm pretty sure he did really well. Yes, he did. 16 tackles for loss and 8.5 sacks, which is good for his best year of his career. We have upgrade points for Darqueze Dennard, one of our young corners. And all upgrade his man-to-man, so he's a scheme fit. But he does not get there. So Matt Ryan, over 4,000 passing yards, a 71% completion percentage, 32 touchdowns, 9 picks. Pretty solid year for him. Pretty solid. Nothing crazy and nothing terrible at all, really. Pretty good numbers. 250 yards per game, a 110 rating, 8.3 per carry, sacked 32 times. That's got to get cleaned up a little bit. And, yeah, a pretty solid year from Matt. Rushing. Todd Gurley, 4.7 per carry, 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. A very good year for Todd Gurley for our team. Receiving. Julio Jones gets just under 1,000 yards, but he gets 13 scores. So a good year for him, if I do say so myself. And Hardy actually had a good year overall despite his lower acclaimed second half of the year, with 812 and 5 scores, both being second on the team. Really gets 746 through the air and 2 scores. Todd Gurley also had 543 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns in the air, so a really good year for Todd. 14 overall touchdowns, 1,700 scrimmage yards, a really good year for Todd, and he will be here to stay. In terms of blocking, who allowed the most sacks this year? Probably a left tackle, and it was Jake Matthews. And then our center, Alex Mack, allowed 7. That's kind of surprising. He's by far our best offensive lineman. But he did play the most downs out of all of them. Okay, now our defense. Most tackles goes to Deion Jones. And then Darqueze Dennard and Counter Neal tie for second with 90. Tackles for loss goes to Dante Fowler. 13 for Bailey, 12 for McKinley, and 11 for Deion Jones. Our sack leader was also Deontay Fowler, but Tat McKinley had 8.5 as well. So both of those guys really played well in both the pass rush and the run stop, it seems like. While Grady Jarrett had a little bit lower numbers than those, so it's still not bad at all. 6.5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. I still want more sacks, though. But interceptions, we only had 3 on the year. And this is where we had problems. We did not get many turnovers. We had a 1 pick for Deion Jones, 1 pick for Jamar Taylor, and a 1 pick for Sheffield. So only only 2 of our corners got interceptions. And one of them was a backup corner who came in for a couple of plays the entire year. So our starters did not do well in terms of forcing turnovers. Kicking, Young Oku did very well this year. Only 1 field goal missed and only 3 PATs missed, 1 of which was blocked. So I'm glad I brought him back because he played really well. And in terms of offensive yards, we finished 16th, right in the middle of the pack. So we need to somehow improve our offense as well as our defense, because both of those were not great. We were just completely mediocre this entire year. So pretty much in the very middle of teams. So the definition of mediocre. Pass touchdowns, we were mediocre as well with 32. 17 rushing touchdowns, which was probably good for top 10, I would say. We're tied for top 10, I guess, but again, mediocre in that area. Our defense was terrible. We were 24th in total yards allowed this year. That is not going to get it done at all. We had we had a pretty good top 10 in sacks. Our team was top 10 in sacks. But we were mediocre in points allowed, again, right in the middle of teams in terms of points allowed. We were also in the bottom half of the league in terms of red zone efficiency, so not a good job there. We were also really bad on defense in terms of red zone points percentage. So really the red zone was a death sentence for us in terms of both sides of the ball. Defense was so terrible. Only 6 takeaways all year, which was good for last place, sole last place for us, and a -4 differential. So that is a major problem. We need some ball hawks on this team, which makes me want to get a corner in this draft. If from here on out, starting with the new season after the offseason, I'm going to be watching 1 game per quadrant of the season. So for the first 4 games, I'm going to watch one of those. For the second one, I'm going to watch another one of those, and so on and so forth. And then I'm going to watch every playoff game as well after that, after each regular season. And I'm going to sim the rest of the other games. I'm going to sim the other 12 games and watch 4. And each episode from here on out is going to be either the off season by itself, or it's going to be a 4th of the regular season, or it's going to be a playoff game. First order of business is re-signing staff and see who we're going to bring back. Now, I think I'm going to keep Dan Quinn for let's do 1-year deal, and then I'll keep our scout because it's going to take us probably 2-3 years to get a better offensive line than what we have now. It's not going to be like a 1 draft type of deal. And I'm going to fire the trainer because he is bad. Actually, I mean, he did pretty solid this year, but it's all about regression, so I'm going to get a better trainer. Let's do expert scouting. Let's do, let's see. We're probably going to take, actually, let's do this. We can do the rest next year. So increased player weekly goal XP and increased scouting points. So in the wild card, the Chargers took down the Colts in a low-scoring game. The Seahawks took down the Niners in overtime. The Ravens took out the Houston Texans. And the Giants absolutely obliterated the Saints. I'm guessing they have Andrew Luck. They don't. No, Dalen Jones has played really well. All right. In the divisional round, the Kansas City Chiefs took out the LA Chargers. The Giants defeated the Dallas Cowboys. The Patriots defeated the Ravens in overtime, and the Packers defeated the Seahawks. And let's hire this trainer now. All right. We hired Winters as our trainer. Let's look at the Pro Bowl roster before we advance. Dak Prescott, Cam Newton, Drew Brees, Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Phillip Rivers, Zeke, Joe Mixon, Christian McCaffrey, Mark Ingram, Saquon, James Conner, Kyle Juszczyk, Blasingame, Janovich, Line, Michael Thomas, Odell, Anthony Miller, Adam Humphries, Julio Jones, Des Bryant, Mike Evans, Jarvis Landry, Amari Cooper, and maybe Marquise Brown, maybe, I think. Golden Tate, Cole Beasley, Zach Ertz, Stalker, Jimmy Graham, Jack Doyle, Greg Olson, Austin Hooper, Tyron Smith, Laramie Tunsil, Williams, Anthony Costanzo, Will Hernandez, Quinn Nelson, Pete, Joe Thuney, Jason Kelsey, Andrews, our center, Alex Mack made it, Kelly, Zach Martin, David DeCastro, Brooks, Shaq Mason, Collins, Bulaga, Ramchick Brown, Cam Jordan, Simon, DeMarcus Lawrence, Calais Campbell, Trey Flowers, Hughes, Adonijah Sue, Myles Garrett, Fletcher Cox, DeForest Buckner, Brown, Atkins, Poe, Oliver, Khalil Mack, Von Miller, Chris Jones. No, not Chris Jones. Just another Jones guy. T.J. Watt, Shaq Thompson, C.J. Mosley, Foster, Murray, Campbell, Chubb, Dante Fowler made it, Smith, Coleman, Peters, Murphy Bunting, Jackson, Trufant, Henderson, Jonas Jenkins, Nate Lawson, Rodney McLeod, Devin McCourty, Antoine Bethea, Harmon, Julius Peppers, Jordan Poyer, Jamal Adams, Derwin James, Patrick Rosas, Ryan Suckup, Chris Jones, Brett Kern, C.D. Lamb, James White, Travis Fulgham, and Benny Snell. And in the conference finals, the Chiefs got the best of the Patriots in another playoff overtime game, while the Packers took down the New York Giants. And so we're going to get a Chiefs-Packers Super Bowl. Let's check out the yearly awards first. All right, so Cam Newton wins MVP with Zeke and Lamar Jackson rounding out the top three. So Cam Newton wins MVP. Coach of the Year goes to Jason Garrett for the Cowboys, who went 14-2. Meanwhile, in the AFC, the Offensive Player of the Year is obviously Cam Newton. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Von Miller. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Joe Burrow for the 8-8 Bengals. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Kenneth Murray for the Chargers. Best Quarterback, Cam Newton. Best Running Back, James Conner. Best Wide Receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. Best Offensive Lineman, Mitchell Schwartz. Best Defensive Lineman is Jerry Hughes. Best Linebacker, Von Miller. Best Defensive Back, Marcus Peters. And Best Kicker, Justin Tucker. No surprise there. All right, in the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year goes to Ezekiel Elliott. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Shaq Thompson of the Panthers. Daniel Jones wins Offensive Rookie of the Year in his 10-6 record with the Giants. Jelani Tavai wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. A-Raj wins Best Quarterback. Zeke wins Best Running Back. Devontae Adams wins Best Wide Receiver. Zach Martin wins Best Offensive Lineman. Cam Jordan wins Best Defensive Lineman. Best Linebacker goes to Khalil Mack. And Jabril Peppers wins Best Defensive Back, while Dan Bailey wins Best Kicker. And the Kansas City Chiefs come out on top in your 54th Super Bowl matchup with the Packers. A 3-point win for the Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes gets his first ring in this world. I think I'm going to bring back Kyle Duggar on a 2-year deal. That's a pretty fair deal. Before we do anything, let's go look at and see who has retired this season. Jamon Williams, Antoine Bethea, Dwayne Brown, Eric Walden, Tywan Jones, Adam Vinatieri, after 24 years of service to the National Football League. Brandon Mabane, Donald Penn, Andrew Whitworth, Richie Incognito, Jason Witten, Matt Bryant, Steve McClendon, Alex Mack, our center. Oh, shit. That is not good for us at all. That is our offensive line is going to be much worse, I feel like, in the coming season. So that's a big blow to us. A big blow. While our backup quarterback, Matt Schaub, retires. Jason Peters, Aqib Talib, Jonathan Joseph, Jeremy Parnell, or I guess Jeremy, John Sullivan, Phil Dawson, Ted Ginn, whoever this guy is, he doesn't have a name, German Bushrod, John Ryan, and head coach Andy Reid. rides off into the sunset of retirement with a ring on his finger. Nice work. All right, here is your free agent class. We have Chris Jones as the top free agent available. We have Kareem Hunt, who's available. We have Devin McCourty, Eric Armstead, Ryan Shazier, who has recovered from his injury, Drew Brees, Austin Eckler, Mike Hilton, Delaney Walker, Bud Dupree, David Onyemata, Carlos Dunlap, Alshik Rosas, Matt Prater, Tyrone Crawford, Levi Wallace, could be a good pickup for us, Graham Gano, Adam Butler, McManus, Carlos Hyde, and yada, yada, yada. What I'm really looking at is bringing in Delaney Walker to up the tight end position. Even though Hayden Hurst is not bad, could bring in Walker for 1 or 2 years on a cheap contract. Let's do 1 year, and I'll lower it a little bit. Probably be like in the 60s. Yeah, there it is. And we get both Delaney Walker and Levi Wallace. So, good news there. I don't see us doing any more moves in terms of free agent signing.
The Jets are now on the clock.
So the Jets have the first pick. Check the draft board. So if we're going to draft somebody, I think I first want it to be a corner or a linebacker. But there's no great linebackers in this draft, so maybe between a corner and an offensive lineman. So if all these top corners go, especially the top 4 or the top 3 rather, then I'll be focusing on offensive linemen. So let's see who the Jets take.
The Raiders.
They take one of the corners. They take P.J. Witherspoon, a 76 overall slot corner out of TCU. The Raiders take another corner, Kamani Mincy, out of East Carolina. And KJ Nails goes at pick 3 to the Los Angeles Rams. And then there goes at Alex Moore. So pretty much the top 3 corners are gone in the top 4 picks.
The Lions.
There goes linebacker DeMarcus Benson.
The Broncos.
There goes Gerard Stallworth.
The Titans.
There goes Jacob Dunn.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Another corner, Stuart Kennedy went. I think he was a zone corner.
The Eagles
Dolphins take Lucas Forden.
The Redskins.
Rafael Calhoun, the first receiver taken in this draft out of Oklahoma State.
The Panthers are now
Elijah Ferrini, the right tackle.
The Bills.
Kenny Morris, a center.
The Cardinals
Jacoby
are now on the clock.
Ingram, left tackle. That's a bust pick. And the Cardinals take corner Carlos Renaud. So let's go check our draft board. Let's go see who's available. Who is the best prospect for us to take right now? I would say that the best guy on the board is Duncan Whitfield. But we could get Wesley Brackens as well. He matches our scheme as well. We could get Brendan Wise, but we could wait on him as well to beef up our tackles. There's also Nash Cutler, who is another solid tackle. Whitfield is just really good, and I feel like if we tried, we could mold him into an agile player. So I'm going to take the best player available, and that's definitely Duncan Whitfield. He's an 80 overall, the number 1 player in this draft. Number 1 in true talent. So that is a solid pick, I would say. Let's see the rest of the first round. Sidney Wharton. Abram Durham, one of the free safeties. Jaron Allen, the corner.
The Steelers
George
are
Coleman,
now on
another
the clock.
safety.
The 49ers
Tommy
are
Logan,
now on the
bad
clock.
pick by the Steelers.
The Saints
Ty
are
Charles
now on
for
the clock.
safety.
The Texans
Alonzo
are now
Sharp.
on the clock. The Colts are now on
Cedric
the
Benedict.
clock. The Chargers
Lucas
are now
Fisk,
on
the
the
tight
clock.
end.
The Seahawks are
And
now
there
on the
goes
clock.
Jamario Surtain.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Avery Hayward.
The Cowboys
Nicholas
are now on
McDowell.
the clock. The Giants
Antoine
are
Gross.
now on the clock. The Patriots
Eckel.
are now on the clock.
Jalen Bridges.
The Chiefs
Craig Tillman,
are
the
now on
final
clock.
first round pick,
The
goes
Jets
for
are now
Case
on the
Orr.
clock. Now on the clock.
All right, so I'm going to take Nick Chase with this pick, actually. So we're going to bring in Nick Chase, and then after this, we're going to acquire Brandon Wise, if he's available, later in the second round. So Nick Chase.
The Colts are now
71
on the clock.
overall, agile, number 24 in shoe talent, and I think I might start him. We could draft a guard and move him to center. A guard such as Colin Culberson. I think that if we're going to take somebody right now, it's going to be him.
The
And he's a
Buccaneers
hidden
are now on
talent.
the clock.
Great. Number 40 in true talent. Hidden development traits and a 69 overall pass protector. But he is pretty well-rounded, actually. So we'll get to see him develop.
Falcons are now on
So
the
Nash
clock.
Color just went the pick before us. So Brandon Wise should still be available, and he is. Do I want to take him? That is an interesting question. There's also Damian Nix, Davin Newman, but other players who are available. John Kennedy, a late first-round talent, 30 reps on the bench, could be a solid actually. So we only have one right end, so I think I'm going to take John Kennedy and maybe move him to left outside linebacker, even though he's pretty big. He's a big guy, but he could work out there if we decide to do that. So we're going to take John Kennedy. He's a
The
70
Buccaneers
overall,
are now on the clock.
and he's number 28 in true talent.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
All right, our next pick. We still have LaMarcus McCullum on the board. We can wait to take him. We could get Stacey Harris, a corner. We could get Michael Cheeks, strong safety, who is pretty athletic and strong. I think I'm going to take LaMichael Cheeks here. He's
The
a
Buccaneers
hidden
are now
development
on the clock.
again. He is a 67 overall, a run support scheme fit. He's only 21 years old and at 63 in true talent, but that hidden development, again, coming through for our team. Let's draft Cassidy Stead. Get another backup middle linebacker. He won't be good.
The
He's a 61,
Buccaneers
so
are
he's
now on the
terrible.
clock.
But I think it's still worth it to get a third guy on the team as
The
the linebacker.
Falcons are now on the clock.
So now I think I'm going to take McCullum. I'm not going to take any risks any further. And I'm going to take LaMarcus McCullum, who could be a starting left guard. He's a 70
The
overall,
Buccaneers are now
number
on the
37 in true value, and a 68 agile player, and actually kind of well-rounded again, but he's mostly a pass protector. There is Emmanuel Denton, and I think I'm going to draft him just to fill that like backup linebacker void as the left outside linebacker. But he's also scheme fit at a right outside linebacker, so we could shift him over there just to train him.
The Eagles are now on the clock.
All right, so that does it for our draft. We're going to put Duncan Whitfield at right tackle. Going to put Nick Chase at right guard. We're going to move Colin Culberson to center. So we're going to have a young offensive line. I'm going to move John Kennedy to left outside linebacker. Going to keep LaMichael Cheeks at strong safety. Going to keep Stead at middle linebacker. We're going to keep McCullum at left guard, I believe. And we're going to keep... we're going to move Denton to right outside linebacker, but purely for developmental sake and for scheme fit's sake. So nothing too crazy in the draft. Just had to patch up the offensive line and get some young guys in there so that we have an offensive line that could be together for quite some time, at least 3 or 4 years. So we'll see how this goes, and we could probably sign a couple players in free agency at the beginning of the next calendar year. So yeah, that is it for the off season, for the 2019 off season, and our first in this franchise. Thanks for watching, and take care.